Naming is the single most powerful and underestimated tool in branding. Marty Neumeier said this, and man, I cannot agree with this more. This is, I think, the cornerstone that everyone should be thinking about when naming their gym. Hello and welcome to the Modern Day Dojo podcast. My name is Larry Koyman, and today we're going to be talking about your brand. We're going to be talking about naming and the importance of your name, what you name your gym. Your name is the very first handshake your brand extends to the world. It's oftentimes the first thing somebody sees when they're looking for martial arts in your area. So how we name our gym is extremely important. It is the first impression. Now, it's not just the label. It's the first marketing asset that people encounter. And first impressions are instant and they stick. So you have to give very careful thought to your name when it comes to your brand. Now, when I first bought into a martial arts school, I was a young pup. I think I was 19 at the time. I bought into a school, and the name of the school was called Thompson's Academy of Martial Arts. I was training at the school for many, many years, and the environment was fantastic. I loved it. It was a second home for me, like most martial arts schools are. However, the individual who owned the school, whose name was Thompson, Mr. Thompson, moved on. He was no longer part of the school. And so by the time I bought into it with one of my instructors and another one of my classmates, no one in the school was named Thompson. Nobody. So we were owning a school called Thompson's Academy of Martial Arts, and we would constantly get the question, who's Thompson? Once they would figure out that obviously my name isn't Thompson, my last name isn't Thompson, neither of the other instructors or owners' names were Thompson. So it became a very confusing experience. And after years of this, have having to explain, well, Mr. Thompson moved on. It just caused confusion with our brand, and it hurt our growth and our ability to really connect with people. So, so a name is really important as it connects with the public, not just the insiders. You have to really give it some thought. So today we're going to cover the 3 common mistakes to avoid when naming your gym. We're also going to be covering 3 strategies to future-proof and to make sure you're set up for longevity and connection. And then we're also going to cover what do you do if you already have a name, established name, and that you think you might need to change it or refresh it. There are things in branding. We can rebrand or you can refresh your brand. And we'll talk about those at the end. So I think the very first thing, what I see a lot of, one of the very first mistakes that you can do is naming your gym after a style, a very specific style. Now, there are some gyms that have success with this, but I want you to think about the language that we use. We'll see this quite often, Taekwondo Academy. We'll see this with, imagine a Shotokan Karate Center. This is a problem because what I see is that it kind of corners you into that one style. What if later on you decide that you want to add a Krav Maga self-defense course in it? Or what if you want to add Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or grappling or whatever into your program? When you do this, it causes confusion. And think of it this way. Whenever you're naming your gym, I want you to look at it as in you are a consumer. You are a parent looking to enroll your child into a gym. If you don't know what Shotokan Karate Center is, if you don't know what Shotokan means, it just creates another barrier. So your name should be something that immediately connects with somebody, with the people that you're your ideal client profile. We talked about that in episode 1. It should immediately evoke some type of reaction and should be something that they at least understand. The people that will look at an example like Shotokan Karate Center are the people who know what Shotokan Karate is. And if that's your aim, then go for it. People that are in that will name their gym Aikido or something like that are really looking for people that are very focused and interested in Aikido, which is totally fine. Now, just like any rule, there are exceptions. This being one of them is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. If people are looking for grappling, looking for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, there's lots of schools that are named something Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Tennessee, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You know, it is a very common thing. Krav Maga is another one of those. Those are very specific arts that people are searching for because of their popularity. Eventually, when they're not as popular anymore, they're going to experience the same thing that, you know, base martial arts systems like karate and taekwondo are feeling right now. So again, I would caution anybody who's getting into this, or even if you are currently, your gym is named after a style, it creates barriers and it kind of paints you in a corner to where your product is your gym name. That's it. So mistake number 2 that I see people do a lot, and I still don't understand exactly why. And I'm going to talk about future proofing your gym here. But the mistake that I see is that people name their gym after themselves. Before Thompson's Academy of Martial Arts, it was Michael's School of Self-Defense. Again, Sensei Mike decided that he wanted to pursue a different career, and he left the school to his junior instructors, and they took over. Well, Michael was nowhere to be found, so it creates confusion, just like Thompson's Academy of Martial Arts. So when you name it after yourself, you are cutting off future longevity. Now, it is my hope that my school will be passed down to my children, but if they're not looking to continue martial arts, or they want to pursue their own endeavors, their own careers beyond martial arts, then if the school was named Larry's Karate Center, Koyman's Karate, then the problem is that when I want to exit the company, if I want to sell the company's brand is now me. And because of that, it makes it very difficult to exit. Now, just like always, there are exceptions. Like if your name is Gracie, right? If you're doing Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, that is a name that people will get behind. It is a highly recognized name. It has changed the martial arts industry because it added in an entirely new branch of martial arts that is revolutionizing the industry. It is taking combat arts to another level, and that helps UFC. It obviously helps with that. So unless your name is Gracie, unless your name is Chuck Norris, names that are widely known, not widely known just within the martial arts community, but widely known worldwide. If your name is already a global brand, then yeah, absolutely name your gym after that. You'd be dumb not to. But if you are naming it after yourself, I would caution you. Think about the future. Think about how this positions you for your strategy. If people don't know who you are, it's causing a barrier. Who's Bob's Karate? Like, I mean, nobody knows Bob. Who's Bob? What have you done, Bob? And if Bob hasn't done anything, then that becomes an issue. You also have to be careful too, naming it after yourself, because, for instance, if you have a name and you are doing business and something happens and somebody writes you a very poor review, and it starts tarnishing not just your business but your name. So there is a twofold scenario in that. We hope no one jumps on and writes a poor review, but we all get them. Uh, One of our locations got a poor review from somebody who's never walked in our school at all, ever. And they wrote a poor review for both of our schools. They'd never even been inside of our school. So if they write a review and it has nothing to do with with me personally, but my name is attached to it, then my name is now tarnished along with my business. So we have to be careful of that because there needs to be some separation. So think about that as mistake number 2. Don't name your gym after yourself unless you're Gracie, Chuck Norris. Mistake number 3. This is a little one. It's little, but for me, it's annoying. It's a personal preference, but I want you to think of the ramifications of this. Try to avoid using symbolism, different ideologies, such as dragons or tigers or eagles, names that are common and generic. And the reason why is because they don't communicate a clear value or any differentiation between the martial arts schools around you. Think about it. If there's a school next to you called Pouncing Tiger, I mean, there's some, I guess, coolness factor. Twin Dragons, Twin Dragon Karate. Please don't be offended if your school's name is Twin Dragon Karate or Pouncing Tigers. Please don't think I'm poo-pooing on you. I would say in that scenario, I want you to think about what does that imagery convey. Sure, it can get you a really cool logo. There's a reason why Matt Page, who is famously known as Master Ken in the martial arts world, it's funny. It's a Meridote. The logo is a tiger, and there is some, I think, obviously some satire and there's some comedy, but it's making fun of some of the things that we do as an industry. And this is why I believe as a martial arts industry, we need to modernize what we do. We need to modernize how we look and how we name our gyms. If we name our school something like Tiger's Den, the Screaming Eagles, it's on you. That's on you. That's your thing, but it doesn't convey value. Imagine driving past 2 gyms. One is the Dragon Warrior's Den of Supreme Combat Mastery versus Franklin Martial Arts Academy. Now, I want to put myself in the parents' shoes. Obviously, as a martial artist, all right, the Warrior's Den sounds really cool. But as a parent, enrolling my child, having something that is named up my community, 1, it helps SEO. But 2, I'm familiar with it. Which one do you think feels a little bit more credible at a glance? Just at a glance, and the parent's perspective. So think about how you name things and how it connects with your ideal clients. So now that we've covered 3 things to not do, like probably shouldn't do those 3 things. Make sure you're not naming it after tigers or dragons or anything. Make sure you're not naming it after yourself or your style. Again, just my opinion. So if we want to modernize, we really have to think about what we're doing. Now that we've covered what not to do, I think we should cover some good strategies of things to do. Remember, branding or rebranding is not only your colors and your logo, it's the name, it's the meaning behind it, it's the ability for people to find it, what it connects, what it conveys. Your brand is not so much what you tell people it is, it's what other people say your branding is. So your name is a big deal. So the first thing I think you can do when thinking about a name, one, to make your marketing a lot easier, but two is uh, how easy are you to find? So using searchable, practical terms is the first strategy that you can use in naming your gym. This means that, for instance, uh, maybe you name it after your city and then put martial arts. No matter if you're a specific taekwondo school, karate school, Ishinru, whatever, kung fu, it's just martial arts. Because that's what people are going to look up. People are going to find martial arts. It's a general term. So naming your gym a general term and saying things like your city, where you're located, what branch you are, if you have multiple schools, is going to help in search engine optimization. It's also going to help you in immediate connection, because if we're part of the same community and I read that you're part of a very specific community, your name is that community martial arts, then that's exactly what I'm looking for. Think about it. If someone's looking for a martial arts school in your area, they're going to search whatever your city name is, martial arts. And boom, it's going to come up with yours first because yours hits all those keywords, right? So think about that when you're naming. I always think it's really creative when people are using those types of things inside of their names, because I immediately think, well, they're forward thinking and understanding their marketing. So make it easier for people to find you. Nashville Martial Arts Academy. That's a very high caliber SEO name, and it makes it easy for people to just quickly find you and connect with you. Strategy number 2 is your name should reflect your culture or your benefits. Instead of things like, Dragon's Den or you get it. I mean, you understand the things like my school's names is Family First Martial Arts, and I kind of attach the first strategy to it. Is I will dash Franklin branch or dash Spring Hill branch. Actually, go Franklin, Tennessee, Spring Hill, Tennessee, because there's lots of Franklins all over the place. And there's lots of Tennessees, or lots of one Tennessee. There's lots of Spring Hills. So I want to make sure that I'm anchoring it to a martial arts general, to my area, Franklin, Tennessee, Spring Hill, Tennessee, but also my values, which is family first. We live in the Bible Belt. So family values here is an extremely important piece of child development. It's an extremely important piece of the culture here. It's also deeply rooted in my own personal beliefs and my own core values. My family comes first. Making sure that I'm doing everything I can to raise strong, healthy, competent, confident young children as my own children. I want to be able to provide that same value to everybody who walks through our doors. So when they walk through our doors, when they land on our website and they see what we're about, it immediately connects with them. If they're looking up martial arts in Franklin, Tennessee, and they see Dragon's Den, Red Tiger, Screaming Eagles, Family First, which one do you think is going to reach out to them? So Family First Martial Arts, Franklin, Tennessee. Now all of a sudden they're intrigued, and they click on the one that they can resonate with. They don't know what a pouncing tiger is or what you do. Family First conveys a value. Okay. So you want to create names that are immediately recognizable, and communicates values and your culture. This helps build that know, like, trust. They should know you before they even walk in the door. They should know what you're about. Um, and if they resonate with you, they're gonna like you. And then when they see what you do, they're gonna be able to trust that you're gonna be able to deliver that. And it makes you the go-to resource. Strategy number 3 is future proof your brand. I mean, honestly, it's choosing names that allow for growth. Think about I like schools that have names that are very growth centric, evolution, martial arts, um, pinnacle, martial arts. It talks about growth. It talks about uh, engage, martial arts. These are things that are taking an action and putting it into their brand is named what they do. Uh, Again, this is all about conveying your culture. There's transformative martial arts, right? It's brilliant. It's a brilliant marketing strategy. It's a brilliant branding strategy because it tells them exactly in the name what to expect. This is a transformative martial arts. That is fantastic. Evolution martial arts is great. It talks about martial arts evolved. It's not the same old martial arts. It is the martial arts evolved. And evolution is the change between one and another. You are evolved through the martial arts. It's a great brand. Naming your brand, your school name, something that is about transformation, about evolution, about growth, lets people know what to expect. So those are 3 strategies that I think people should do. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, that's all good. However, Larry, I already have a business. I've had my school for 10 plus years. I can't just change it. I can't just change the name. That would ruin all of my branding prior to. So if you are thinking, Jim's name isn't great, but I don't know what to do, don't panic. Listen, it is probably one of the most valuable opportunities for you. Now, I know because I just went through this. Now, my gym's name did not change. My name didn't change because I was strategic about it in the beginning. But remember, I learned my lesson. I went from Thompson's Academy of Martial Arts. I learned a very important lesson on how naming it after somebody, a name, did not work. Also, through working in schools, I understood how building a brand on an individual wasn't healthy. It wasn't good for the school because when the individual would leave, the school would suffer. So I learned my lessons prior to naming my gym Family First Martial Arts. So if you haven't learned those lessons and you're just learning them now, good. It's okay. It's okay. Doesn't mean your school's going to close. You have to shut down or do anything. No. This is a perfect opportunity for you to rebrand, which is completely change the name. And instead of doing it behind the door, you do it in front of everybody. You let everybody know what you're doing. You're saying, hey, Bob's Taekwondo Academy has spent the last 15 years serving XYZ community to the best of its ability. Now, we have big future plans for the future of XYZ community and Bob's Taekwondo, which means we are diving deep into how we can serve you better. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to be rebranding to something that will reflect our dedication to the service to our community and to our students. So keep an eye out over the next 8 to 10 weeks while we roll out our vision and our mission for our school. Can't wait for you to see what's going on in the future. Like, if you roll that out, it's going to create curiosity and buzz. And it's something that you then, once you do the work, you can go back in and talk about, okay, what is my mission? What do we want to do? What's our vision in our community, in our school? What do we want to create? What is the end goal? How are we positioned differently in our market than the rest of the martial arts gyms in our area? Start naming those things. Who do we serve? What's our ideal client? What's our tone of voice? How do we speak? Are we traditional? Do we speak in tongues? What do we do? Are we more casual and relaxed? Are we more stern and strict, focused? Are we a combination? Start learning about your brand archetypes. Start learning about your tone of voice. Start developing your core values, your beliefs as a business, but as individuals. And then you start formulating all these things, put this information together, and then you can really start saying, okay, now what would a great name be? And if this was my name, this is our mission, and I use this purpose to drive my name, and I name our school this mission, this core value, this vision, then what would the logo look like? What would be cool? And don't use dragons or tigers or eagles. I mean, do what you got to do. It's fine. But you can completely rebrand. Some of the best companies that have been around with the biggest track records have rebranded. I want you to think about a little company called Facebook. Facebook, a very prominent social media company, decided to change its name to Meta because it realizes that its vision in the future was to drive the metaverse. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, I had to look it up. But the metaverse is so much bigger than just social media. And so it took its future vision and rebranded. And now everybody knows Facebook Meta. It's the same thing. Bob's Taekwondo to Premiere. Don't use Premiere. It's already taken. But you get my point, right? So that is one of those companies. Now, another thing you can do, and this is something that we did, was we refreshed our brand. And in the refresh, it was, our name is Family First Martial Arts. Do we need to change it? The answer very quickly was no. You don't need to change your name. But we need to get laser focused in on what Family First Martial Arts does in our community. So we dug really deep into our mission, vision, position, the tone of voice, our core values, which was, I think, one of the biggest things you can do. Because once you develop a list of core values, 5 to 7 of them, I have 10, but it's, if you have these core values, everything you do within your gym must revolve around these core values. Every interaction, everything you say, everything you do has to reflect these core values. It's an operating system for how you operate your gym. So once we did that, we refreshed our logo, made it cooler, made it more in line with a next level modern brand. And we rolled it out. We let people know this is our vision. This is our mission. Here's what Family First is about. Here's what we do in our community. Here's our goals for our athletes. We changed our tone to be a coach, a mentor, not just an instructor who barks orders. We ask intelligent questions. We employ emotional intelligence. We develop mental toughness. And these are all things that we say. And we've through our social media, through our email, through our texts, everything, we've let this out. So that way people see and hear this inside of our gym and they get excited about the future of our brand. We let them know our plans for the future. And then when we refresh it, it became a breath of fresh air. And everybody got behind it. Didn't have one student leave because of it. Another little company that did this, just by the way, is a little company called Apple. In the beginning, Apple was called Apple Computer Incorporated. And as Apple started dreaming bigger, started realizing that it's offering more than just computers. This is where the name kind of boxed them into just offering a single product, computers. Well, if they would have stuck with that name, having a phone would be a little bit awkward. so, so they changed their name to just Apple. It's a refresh. That's all it was. And it's one of the most highly recognized brands in the world right now, probably the most. Everybody knows what Apple is. So you can refresh your brand. You can involve everybody in the process. And you can get excited about what you are doing. You can rebrand or refresh. It doesn't matter. You just have to build something for long-term success. If your school's named after yourself, you could be like, I've realized over the years that the school is so much bigger than just me. And so we are rebranding to reflect the ideals and the mission of our purpose in our community. And run with it. Run with it. I guarantee you, you will be amazed once you really put a lot of energy and focus into your brand. You'll be amazed to see what comes out of that, and how much it increases the public opinion in what you're doing. So remember, quick don'ts. Don't name your gym after your style. Don't name your gym after yourself. And steer clear, honestly. I mean, it's personal preference, but I mean, really, steer clear of dragons, tigers, eagles, snakes, whatever it is. It doesn't convey any value. It's just the coolness factor. Hey, I want a cool tiger, dragon. And it's cool, whatever. But it doesn't communicate to your potential clients. Things you can do is be strategic in your naming for search engine optimization. Make it sure that it's something easy for people to find you and see you. Number 2, make sure your name conveys value. And 3, make sure that you're planning for long-term legacy. Think about the exit. Think about, your brand, and how easy it is for you to get out, and make sure that it is, that you're conveying growth in your branding. Do those 3 things. And if you need or want to talk about it, does it make sense for me to refresh? Does it make sense for me to rebrand? Reach out to me. Modern Day Dojo is about taking a serious look at what we're doing, but not just as martial artists, as the consumer, as the community, taking a look at what we do as a martial arts industry and seeing, does it resonate with today's audience? And if it doesn't, we change it. Because if we don't change, we're going to die. The martial arts is getting a bad rap, let's be honest. Because we have lots of gyms out there named Twin Dragons, right? We have lots of gyms out there that are not conveying the value that they really teach. You guys are superheroes. Every one of you out there that's teaching, that's running a gym, you're a superhero. You should be wearing a cape. But if you're stuck behind a name that doesn't convey any value or doesn't resonate with your community, and you're climbing an uphill battle and the world is changing around you. So have a discussion. Reach out to me. Message me. Follow the podcast. Join the Facebook group. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And let's together build something that's worth remembering. That's worth the legacy of the martial arts. Let's stand on the shoulders of giants who have gone before us and carry this into the future that is prosperous, that is impactful, and where we are proud to hand it off to the next generation. Thank you for sticking around for me to listen to me ramble about something I'm very passionate about. I hope it resonates with you. And next episode, we're going to be talking about some cool stuff. So if there's something specific that you want to hear, let me know in the comments. I want to be able to cover and serve you to the best of my ability. I can't wait to see you in the next episode.